Vince McMahon recently made a rare interview appearance and touched on a lot of topics, so we'll take a look at the highlights of what he had to say. We'll also take a look at some Roman Reigns related topics and some more WrestleMania matches that have been confirmed. Let's start things off with this Vince McMahon interview. Vince spoke about his personal life growing up, the struggles he went through, how he views competition like AEW, explained WWE's mass releases, and touched on so many other things too. So we'll take a look at some of Vince's biggest comments from this interview. Here's what Vince had to say in regards to the WWE releases and why he accepts superstars back after they leave him. Quote, "I'm always concerned about what's best for the audience, always. What does the audience want? And if you have dead weight around you or situations where someone is not cutting it, and you have an opportunity for someone else to come in, it's like, okay, that's probably the best thing. It's one of the reasons why, with Hogan and a lot of those guys who left me at one time and why I brought him back. It's like, I'll never bring that SOB back as long as I live." When you say stuff like that, you're hurting yourself because you're not thinking about your audience. You're not thinking about your product. End quote. So that's the explanation for the releases from the chairman himself. If that superstars become dead weight and not really doing much of anything, he wants to get rid of them in order to make room for someone else to have an opportunity to do something special. And like he said, for when it comes to bringing back superstars who left him or trashed WWE in the past, he's always open to bringing them back because he's thinking of the audience first and what they would like to see. Vince McMahon used Hulk Hogan as an example of someone that left him, who he later turned around and accepted back with open arms. And if the Cody Rhodes rumor is true and he comes back to WWE, then that'll be another great example of what Vince is talking about here. Cody Rhodes left WWE and helped with the overall creation of AEW, but Vince McMahon is willing to put all those personal feelings to the side for the sake of what's best for the audience and for the product. Bringing someone like Cody Rhodes back to WWE would obviously be a big deal and is something the audience wants to see. So if Cody ever appears back in WWE, that's another great example of what Vince McMahon was trying to say. Vince McMahon also had this to say during the interview, quote, "My view is the business is best for everybody. Whether you're a part of it or you're not a part of it, you have to treat it as such to be objective and look at family members just like you would other employees. Quite frankly, I probably expected more out of my family members." End quote. Now, even though no names were mentioned there by Vince, everyone believes he's referring to the situation with Shane McMahon from earlier in the year at Royal Rumble. There was apparently a lot of backstage conflict between Shane and Vince, and like Vince said right there in that quote, he views family members as regular employees and treats them as such. So, you're not going to get special treatment from him just because you're his son. That's not a free pass to do whatever you want. And that's exactly how he handled the Shane McMahon incident. No special treatment. He treated him like a regular employee, and he let Shane go from the company after all that happened at Royal Rumble. So it's unfortunate what happened to Shane, but at the same time, it's a good thing because it keeps everyone on high alert and on their best behavior. If he did that to his own son, it can happen to anyone. When Vince McMahon was asked about AEW, Impact Wrestling, and everything that's dating back to the WCW days, he had this to say about dealing with all those rival companies, quote, "I'm probably one of the few in the world who enjoys confrontation. It's one of those things that put you on your toes. I enjoy physical confrontation. If you lived through the beating and you won, what are you going to do to me? And in terms of confrontation, I'm not afraid of it. I relish it." End quote. Pat also went on to mention how the best version of Vince McMahon always comes out when he's dealing with serious competition. So Vince McMahon's goal isn't to eliminate all of his competition. It sounds like he wants them to hang around because this is what he feeds off of. He loves the confrontation, he loves the competition, and he thrives off it. so he welcomes all those other organizations out there. Pat also mentioned Vince McMahon's age of 76 and how he still continues to work. Vince McMahon said that he loves what he does, so he doesn't label it as work at all. Vince McMahon mentioned his mother, who recently passed. She lived to be 101 years old. Vince talked about how that's the goal for him as well, to make it to that age. He also mentioned how he's still very active and trains every day until 3 a.m. He said that he trains more for his mental health than his actual physique itself. He also said that if anything was to ever happen to him, he just hopes he has a quick second to thank everyone for everything. Vince said that you have to listen to your audience, but how a portion of the internet audience can be biased and be a bit harsh, so he doesn't listen to that portion at all. Then, towards the end of the interview, Vince McMahon offered Pat a match at WrestleMania and said that he would look for an opponent for him to face. Which brings us to our next topic. A couple of more WrestleMania matches have been announced over these last few days. Starting off with this match that Vince is setting up for Pat. Originally, the rumor was that Vince McMahon himself would be the opponent for Pat. So if Vince doesn't go at WrestleMania to face Pat, then Austin Theory is a pretty good guess. Also confirmed for WrestleMania was Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin. That's another match that a lot of fans saw coming because that feud has been going on for a while, so that should be an easy win for Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Zelina Vega and Carmella at WrestleMania has also been confirmed. Some fans were arguing that Sasha and Naomi didn't do anything for the opportunity. They just formed a team and instantly became contenders. Well, yeah, that's true, but there's no one really else in that division, so in this case, they can get a free pass for the title match. But the WrestleMania card seems to be nearly complete, so we'll see what else gets announced in the coming weeks. Kurt Angle recently appeared on The Player's Experience and said that Roman Reigns was the most successful Shield member. He had this to say, quote, "They were all great performers, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, but I think Roman Reigns just sets apart a little bit more than the other guys and had a little more success." End quote. But according to Kurt Angle, he thinks that Roman has the slight edge over the other two Shield members. Do you agree with Kurt Angle's comments there on Roman Reigns, or do you think Moxley or Seth Rollins was the biggest member? What are your thoughts on today's other stories as well? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.